gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Special edition of Robert Sports Show here. If you've been a Robert Sports Show follower, you know I do NFL, NCAA college football, pro wrestling, Ring of Honor, WWE. Branching out a little bit in the pro wrestling realm. Progress Wrestling, Chapter 76. Hello, Wembley. Preview. I've been watching Progress Wrestling all year, since about May. What a talented company this is. What a great company. The ring announcer, Jim Smallman, is co-owner. Glenn Joseph, a announcer, is co-owner. So you have the owners out there in the middle of the product. They've been traveling to the United States recently, had 4 or 5 shows. So I've been watching those on the Demand Progress. If you've never seen Progress Wrestling, but you've seen WWE, the United Kingdom tournaments from a couple years ago when Tyler Bate was crowned WWE United Kingdom champion and he beat Pete Dunne, and Pete Dunne is now the UK champion. Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne, Trent Seven, Joseph Connors, all of them came from Progress, are currently in Progress. So if you're watching the WWE UK stuff, you know who some of these guys are. Like I said, if you've never seen Progress Wrestling was established in 2012 in the United Kingdom. This Hello Wembley show at the SSE Arena in Wembley, London is the biggest indie wrestling show in the UK, in England, in 30 years. I know I'm stoked about it. Definitely, if you've never seen any Progress, go on YouTube. There's 3 shows on YouTube. They are older, but Chapter 13, Chapter 36, and Chapter 55 are all on YouTube free of charge. Check them out. I would advise, if you like what you see, go to Demand Progress, sign up for Progress Wrestling. It's $7.99 a month. Not only do you get the history and the library of Progress Wrestling, you also get shows from Smash Wrestling, AAW Pro, AML Wrestling, Defy Wrestling, Explosive Pro Wrestling, Demand Lucha, and Feast Wrestling. You'll want to check these out. If you're a pro wrestling fan, not just a WWE fan, but if you're a pro wrestling fan, which I have become more of here in 2018, by not only watching WWE, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, formerly known as TNA, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Progress, Evolve, Shine, all the WWE stuff, Road Pro Wrestling out of the UK, Defiant Pro Wrestling out of the UK. If obviously it's impossible to get every streaming service. A lot of the Defiant stuff is on Fight TV. You can pick and choose which show you want. There's a lot of other wrestling companies that have their shows on Fight TV app. So yeah, definitely check it out. Check this show out. I think it's worth it. The show is September 30th. The way the Demand Progress works, typically these shows upload a week later. So even though this show airs live in the SSE Arena in Wembley on the 30th, it won't be on Demand Progress until the 7th, probably the week later. So I'm getting a review up. I will get a preview up. I'll get the review up after I watch it. So it's going to be a week to 10 days out after the show. So I'm going to run down this card. If you've never seen Progress Wrestling, try to introduce you to it. And a couple things that they have, kind of like WWE does with the Money in the Banks and the Royal Rumble and stuff, they have what's called the Strong Style 16. It's the #1 contender tournament. Typically, the winner of the Strong Style 16 would get a title shot at a show like this. The winner was Zack Sabre Jr. this year. He's contractually obligated to New Japan Pro Wrestling right now for the date of this show. New Japan is doing a U.S. tour, and Zack Sabre Jr. has to be involved in that, so he won't be on this show. One of the founding fathers of Progress, Will Ospreay, the aerial assassin, is also not on this card because he does have a contractual obligation with New Japan Pro Wrestling. So we've seen a Chapter 75. I won't give the winner out just in case you want to go back and watch it. We've seen 2 of the founding fathers of Progress, Jimmy Havoc, Will Ospreay, a 2 out of 3 falls, anything goes match. Oh my god. Yeah, that's one of the best matches of the year. I gave it 5-star. So yeah, I thought it was very entertaining. It told a great story, the history of those two guys and what they've done in progress from chapter 2 all the way to chapter 75. So yeah, that's excitement. We're going to run down chapter 76, Hello Wembley card. First match, we have Pete Dunne versus Ilja Dragunov. Sorry, I'm horrible with some of these names. Don't know anything about this guy, actually. I've never seen him wrestle. He's out of WXW in Germany. He's wrestling in the 2018 PWG Battle of Los Angeles tournament. So yeah, I don't know anything about him. I know Pete Dunne, obviously, the current and reigning WWE United Kingdom champion, 485 days and counting. So I'm having Pete Dunne win this. Don't know anything about the other guys, so I can't really talk about that. Next match, we have a no DQ grudge match. We have Paul Robinson versus Jimmy fucking Havoc. Yes, and that is the one thing about Progress Wrestling. The best way I can describe it is Attitude Era. Bam. Attitude Era Wrestling. Back in the late 90s, WWE, WCW. The crowds are freaking hot all the time. They're constantly, cussing and that kind of thing, which, that just makes the way these crowds are, just Havoc, Jimmy Havoc, for instance. Jimmy Havoc is a 2018 version of Cactus Jack, Mankind. That's who I would compare him to, but a cruiserweight. So he's got the same sick kind of demented mind when it comes to no disqualification matches. He carries a picture in his back of his trunks. He will slice like paper cut in between your fingernails or fingers. That sounds like it would fucking hurt like hell. He'll paper cut your fucking tongue. This dude is just sick. He'll staple shit to you. He stapled his fucking skin together after a match because he was bleeding. So yeah, dude is outrageously crazy. This match against Paul Robinson. I watched chapter 75. Thankfully, I did watch chapter 75 because I know the history now between these guys. At 75, the 2 out of 3 falls match, Jimmy Havoc and Will Ospreay. Paul Robinson was the referee. Paul Robinson used to be a tag team partners with Will Ospreay. He was tag team partners with Jimmy Havoc. He feuded with Havoc. He feuded with Will Ospreay. So they made him the special referee for that match. Well, let's just say that when all hell broke loose, multiple referees got knocked out, including him. Jim Smallman, the owner and ring announcer, went to count the 1, 2, 3 on Will Ospreay's shoulders down, Havoc covering him. Paul Robinson pulled the referee out. At the end of the match, Paul Robinson turned on Jimmy Havoc, which led to this match. Fucked Jimmy Havoc over multiple times in his career, and now we get this. This is going to be the sickest fucking match you've ever seen. There will be blood, there will be freaking chair shots, staples, tacks, the whole 9 yards. So Jimmy fucking Havoc is a abyss from Impact Wrestling and Mankind, all lumped together and a little crazier. So this match will be fucking awesome. Jimmy Havoc, I'm predicting to win. Next match, we have a #1 contender match for the Progress World title. We have a year-long feud finally coming ahead. We have Eddie Dennis versus Mark Andrews. In 2014, these two were the first ever Progress Tag Team Champions. As that relationship has soured and this year-long feud has begun, Eddie Dennis was out hurt for 8 months of that year-long feud. He would come out, sit in the front row, distract Mark Andrews, finally challenged Mark Andrews to a match at Wembley involving tables, ladders, and chairs. As we all know in the United States, which obviously Progress can't say it, it's a fucking TLC match. I will say it. Tables, ladders, and chairs. So, Progress Authority came like, you know what, we have a TLC match, tables, ladders, and chair match. We need something to hang above the ring. Let's hang a #1 contender's contract above the ring. So, holy fuck. Eddie Dennis has never been Progress Wrestling Champion. Mark Andrews was a Progress Wrestling Champion at Chapter 10 for a matter of minutes. Minutes. Jimmy Havoc had a title shot contract in hand right after Mark Andrews got that 1, 2, 3. Havoc invoked that contract, and Andrews lost. Jimmy Havoc went on to a 609-day title run. So Mark Andrews trying to get back in the number 1 contender graces, trying to be, Progress, 2-time Progress wrestling champion. Next, this may be the last independent wrestling match for King of Bros, Matt Riddle. As we all know, Matt Riddle is signed with WWE NXT. He debuted at the last NXT Brooklyn in the crowd. We all know they all started in the crowd. So you have Mark Haskins versus Matt Riddle. Boom, yeah. I'm all down with this match. If you've seen Evolve, you know who Matt Riddle is. King of Bros, MMA fighter turned wrestler, so he's kind of got that MMA style, that striking ability. Mark Haskins, I would compare him to maybe a young, smaller Edge. He's got the long hair, he's got the kind of fighting style, brings his wife to the ring with him. And that's like I've said before, if you're new to Progress Wrestling is, it's called British Strong Style Wrestling. Strong Style Wrestling, we know Shinsuke Nakamura, the king of Strong Style. Strong Style is the striking, the kicking, the hitting, and just the chops, and just the kind of all the striking ability and whatnot. To me, with Progress, it takes all the striking and throws in more aerial, more Will Ospreay, aerial assassin, almost all these. Even Walter, 300-pound guy, can do drop kicks, and he's like a young Big Show, So you have all this athletic ability and jumping and stuff. Plus, they do the strikes. There aren't barriers between the ring and the crowd because of all the aerial stuff, and they're afraid of people getting hurt. I mean, legit, they just fly into the crowd. So next that's the first 4 matches. The next 4 are all title matches. We have what they call the Thunderbastard series, which was a tag team series held over the last few months, where every tag team that was entered in this, there were 7 teams. You wrestled each other. Whoever had the most wins, most points, so you got 2 points for a win, 1 point for a loss, I think. And so whoever had the most points, all the teams were involved in it, they combined here, and it's kind of an elimination. I don't even know how to completely compare it to anything WWE-wise. Basically, it's kind of a Royal Rumble / elimination match. So we have 8 teams. It was only supposed to be 7, but the team of Flamita and Bandido out of AAA Mexico Wrestling was part of the Coast to Coast in the United States tour that Progress had, and they beat the tag team champions for the titles. So now there's 8 teams. So it's going to have 2 teams start. Every 2 minutes, another team will come in. The only way you can be eliminated is by pinfall, submission, or DQ. So yeah, so you'll have 2 teams start, and then every 2 minutes, another team comes in. So yeah, it's been a pretty cool series to watch. Anytime that the tag champions were involved in one of the Thunderbastard matches, the titles were on the line. So the titles actually changed 3 times during this. The Grizzled Young Veterans were champions going into this series. And then CCK became champions, which is Chris Brooks and Kid Lycos. And then Flamito and Bandido took the titles in one of the U.S. shows. So the teams involved in this is Team 198, which is Flash Morgan Webster and Wild Boar. Then the CCK team of Chris Brooks and Timothy Thatcher versus Sexy Star, which is Jack Sacksmith and David Starr. The Grizzled Young Veterans, which is Liverpool's #1, Zach Gibson, one of my favorites right now, and his partner, James Drake. Zach Gibson, I've compared him to a Tommaso Ciampa type. People just fucking hate freaking Zach Gibson. I don't know why. Because, I mean, it says, I'm Liverpool's #1. He's also going to be part of the NXT UK tour, or UK show. Them versus Anti-Fun Police, which is No Fun Dunne, and Lost Federation. Aussie Open, another one of my favorite tag teams in Progress. Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher versus a young team of Connor Mills and Maverick Mayhew, and then the tag team champions, Flamita and Bandido. So yeah, this match is going to be absolutely crazy. I'm picking the Grizzled Young Veterans become the second ever 3-time Progress tag team champions here. Next match, we have the Progress Atlas Championship on the line. The Atlas division is kind of reverse of it's not the like cruiserweights is 205 or less. The Atlas division is 205 or more. So we have current Atlas champion and veteran Doug Williams. If you've been a wrestling fan for any amount of time at all, you should know who Doug Williams is. He wrestled in Ring of Honor. He's actually in the first ever Ring of Honor World Title match in a 4-way 60-minute Ironman match. He's been in Impact TNA Wrestling. Him versus Trent Seven. Trent Seven's part of Mustache Mountain NXT, former NXT Tag Team Champions. I would compare this match a lot to. Before I say that, Doug Williams has said once he won the Atlas title a few months ago, when he gets defeated for the Atlas title, he plans on retiring. Okay, I mean he's 46 years old. He's been wrestling a long time, since 1993. He said once he loses the title, he'll more likely retire. Him facing Trent Seven. Trent Seven has said growing up, when he first broke into the wrestling business, Doug Williams was somebody he idolized. I'm comparing this match to WrestleMania 24, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels. Doug Williams is in the Ric Flair kind of mode, kind of the end of his career. If I lose, I'm going to retire. Trent Seven, kind of the Shawn role. I'm a veteran. I've been around a long time. And in British wrestling, Trent Seven is one of the top tier guys. Not saying he's equal to Shawn, no, by no means. But I'm saying that dynamic of the veteran, younger veteran versus the older veteran. Kind of, the older guy saying, if I lose, I retire kind of deal. So yeah, I'm really thinking this is going to go along the same lines as that. I am picking Trent Seven to win. I think Doug Williams will retire here. One of the biggest indie shows, biggest shows in Progress history, biggest indie show in England in 30 years. Why not have this be your farewell match? And I think Doug Williams will school Trent Seven when it comes to mat wrestling. And this match will be good. But I have Trent Seven winning that. Next, we have a 3-way for the Progress Women's Championship. We have champion Jinny in the House of Couture, which is Jinny, Charlie Morgan, and Chikara, versus the first 21st century badass Millie McKenzie versus Toni Storm. In the history of the women's division in Progress, there's only been 2 champions. Toni Storm, who had the title 357 days, and then Jinny, who's had it 119 days. Jinny and Toni Storm were both part of the Mae Young Classic 2, currently airing on the WWE Network. If you don't want to hear a spoiler for that, I'm going to hold 2 fingers up as I say what I'm getting ready to say. So I'm going to hold 2 fingers up, tell you the little, almost a spoiler here, but it's going to go along with why I'm picking who I'm picking to win this match. Alright, so the little spoiler starts now. So, if you're seeing these 2 fingers, hit mute. When I put the 2 fingers down, you can resume. I'm not picking Toni Storm to win. She is part of the finals of the Mae Young Classic set for WWE Evolution in late October. Okay, you're back. So, Millie McKenzie, Jinny, Toni Storm. Millie McKenzie, one of my favorite female wrestlers of today. She's young. She is talented. She can only go up in her wrestling ability. She does Canadian destroyers. She does spears. She does German suplexes. She does have some other mat wrestling ability. She is one of those that if she keeps working with her craft and gets with the right people, Sarah Del Rey, NXT Performance Center, she could be go down as one of the greatest women's wrestlers ever. She's so young with so much talent. I mean, Charlotte right now is probably the top of the women's division. Kaylee Ray, another independent female wrestler. Millie McKenzie. Jinny's fairly good. Charlie Morgan. Toni Storm. So yeah. And all 3 of these women are part of the NXT UK division in WWE. Where we're still waiting for that show to debut on WWE Network, NXT UK. So yeah, I mean, if you want to see any results like who the new NXT UK Women's Champion is, it's out there online. I'm not going to say it here. That's why I wanted, people who didn't want to hear about the Mae Young Classic involving Toni Storm and why I'm not picking her to win. That's why I held the two fingers up, said hit mute. I'm picking Millie McKenzie to win this. If you check back on Harvard Sports Show, I did a video, women's rankings recently, about the Evolution show and everything. And I ranked all the women in WWE, and I put Millie McKenzie number 5 because at that point in time, she'd only had one pre-show match on NXT UK. So yeah, that's how talented she is. So yeah, I got Millie McKenzie winning this, becoming winning her first ever Progress champion. She is a former Defiant Women's champion, but never in Progress. Now to the main event. We have Progress World Title on the line. We have champion Walter versus the big strong boy, Tyler Bate. Walter, if you've never seen him wrestle, he's an Austria version of the Big Show. When Big Show first broke in as the Giant in WCW in 1995, 96, whatever year it was, he did drop kicks. He could go out there and fly like the cruiserweights, but he had the strength of a heavyweight. That's what Walter is. Tyler Bate, you've obviously, if you follow WWE and WWE United Kingdom tournaments, first ever United Kingdom champion, had one of the greatest matches in NXT history, NXT Chicago versus Pete Dunne for the UK title. Big strong boy, Pete Dunne's his, kind of his moniker. This match I think will be good. For some of you who have never followed Progress, some notable names who have been Progress champion. Will Ospreay, if you know who he is from New Japan and Ring of Honor. Marty Scurll, if you know who he is from New Japan and Ring of Honor. Pete Dunne, we know him, he's current UK champion, WWE UK champion. I am picking Walter to retain this, but I would not be surprised if Tyler Bate wins. Mark Andrews and Eddie Dennis had that number 1 contender match, a TLC match. What would a Mark Andrews, Tyler Bate Progress title match look like? Holy fuck. Mark Andrews and Walter. I wouldn't have a problem with that. Love to see that. That would be, big versus little, So, I just, a lot going on here. For those of you who follow pro wrestling, check out these 3 shows on YouTube about Progress. It'll kind of get you a taste of what Progress is about. Check out Demand Progress. A lot of these guys will be on WWE UK. Jimmy Havoc, Mark Andrews, Eddie Dennis, Mark Haskins, Zach Gibson, James Drake, Flash Morgan Webster, Trent Seven, Jinny, Millie McKenzie, Toni Storm, Tyler Bate, all part of the WWE NXT UK. So that's one thing that's cool about the UK and what Triple H is doing with the NXT. He's letting these guys go wrestle other companies, which is cool. I think that's where wrestling is going back to. It's not going to be more of the territories like it used to be back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, into the 70s. I think it's going to be more to kind of what New Japan is doing, where, okay, you're a full-time wrestler for us, you wrestle 250 dates for us, what you do the rest of the time is up to you. But if you get hurt, it voids your contract, kind of deal. So I could see in 20 years from now, wrestlers having a 200-show contract with WWE, a 100-show contract with New Japan, a 50-show contract with Progress, and just still wrestle for WWE when it's ran by Triple H, but also wrestle around the world. I think what that would do is it would get the average wrestling fan to see dream matches, see, what would happen if, Millie McKenzie wrestles Charlotte. Or, the Grizzled Young Veterans versus the Usos. I think that's where pro wrestling is headed. I think Triple H has a great mind when it comes to getting talent from Progress, getting talent from Evolve, but then letting that talent in NXT go wrestle in Progress, go wrestle in Evolve. Progress to NXT UK is like Evolve is to NXT out of Florida. So, it's the future of pro wrestling. You can wrestle in multiple companies and have these dream matches. So, welcome to Progress if you're new. If you're a Progress fan and you've been following for a while, what do you think of my picks? Comment below. I'm definitely going to get this on YouTube and on Twitter. I am going to tweet at Jim Smallman. Jimbo, hey, hook me up with a Progress shirt. Hey, I'm pimping the product here. I love Progress Wrestling. So yeah, definitely. I want to hear what you think. I want you to hear what you think of how I came across with Progress Wrestling. Please comment on Twitter or on YouTube. I want to know your thoughts on it. If you see this, anybody with Progress Wrestling that sees this, please shoot me a message. I want to hear your thoughts on it. And I definitely will get that review up as soon as I watch the show on Demand Progress. So that's going to wrap up Progress Wrestling, Chapter 76, Hello Wembley preview. Thanks for watching the Rubber Sports Show. Don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Rubber Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content. And a world leader in pro wrestling